Hey y'all, this is Justine Honest, and today I wanted to listen to a Lorne and Ramona call. Ramona is one of my favorite catfishes, so I just wanted to see what type of shenanigans and tomfoolery Lorne gets up to in this call. Thank you for listening.
Hi.
Lorne,
Yeah.
what's up with these messages?
So what's up with you not answering the phone, ignoring me all day yesterday and shit? What the hell's going on with you?
Lorne, you. Every time I think that you can't get more selfish, you.
Oh, bullshit.
Lorne,
Selfish is leaving me hanging all
Lorne,
day.
Lorne. I had a serious knee injury yesterday, or the day before yesterday. I was at the doctor all day yesterday,
And you couldn't have
and
texted
having
me.
my family wheel me around. No, Lorne, I was not at my phone.
I can't believe that there wasn't more times where you couldn't have sent me a message yesterday letting me know, I'm having a rough time right now. I'm at the hospital all day. And if you're at the hospital all day, why wouldn't you be texting me more?
We are slightly over a minute into this call, and Lauren is already being ridiculous and unreasonable. Par for the course, though.
Again, Lorne, I did not have my phone on me. I was with my family trying to figure out why my knee keeps failing. Both knees now.
Both knees now. What the hell happened to your ankle?
Nothing happened to my ankle. See, you don't listen. I have
No,
never.
I asked you yesterday, I said ankle. You still never said anything about knee to me.
Lauren at
You said you heard
11:06.
it.
Lauren,
You
Lauren
said you
at
heard
11.
it talk.
Lauren at 11:06 yesterday, 11:06 a.m. I said I injured my knee last night.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, so
You
then
said you had a car accident. I asked you broke your ankle?
where did you get ankle from? You realize those are two different parts of the body, right?
I do realize that because that's what when you said you had a crack, you said you were running in place.
The crack was my knee.
I said you broke your ankle.
Bless Ramona's little heart for thinking that Lauren would know the difference between an ankle and a knee. That's a stretch, but bless her heart.
Lauren, the crack was my knee.
You didn't tell me that yesterday.
Lauren, I said I was lightly, I said I injured my knee. You said, how did I do that? I said I was lightly jogging in place and I heard and felt a loud crack. Since then, I can't put much weight on it.
Well, I got
Does
the
it
crack
matter?
from when I broke
Does it
my
matter if
ankle
it
when
was
I
my
was in school.
ankle? Does it matter if it was my knee? Or does it matter if it was my elbow? The point is, I had an injury. I had to go to the doctor. My family took me to the doctor. And I was not able to message you or call you because I'm worried about my joints and not about messaging you what's going on. There were many
And you
people.
said you had a doctor appointment at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I had a doctor's appointment at 3 o'clock, but guess what? I went out. I was bought a wheelchair. A wheelchair was purchased for me. I had to leave early because it took me about 15 minutes to get to the car. I don't need an alibi as to why I didn't call you. Okay, I didn't call you, Lauren.
I'm not asking for an alibi. I'm asking to send you a message every now and then instead of leaving me hanging.
Lauren, I'm gonna say
I've
this as
asked you that many
plainly.
times before and you still do the same shit.
Okay, I'm gonna say this as plainly as I can, and it's not gonna sound nice, but it's gonna sound true. Lauren, you are not the most important thing in my life. You're not even close. Okay?
Well, that's obvious.
Yeah.
I used to be there.
You're not even close to the most important thing in my life. And right now, one of the most important things in my life is fixing my knee.
Well, it should be.
So,
But still, a little work for me would help. That's when I send you a message. I'm trying to call you a few times all day. You still don't friggin' send me anything.
Lauren, you were not a priority yesterday. There are days when you're not going to be a priority. You were not a priority yesterday. My body, my physical health is. and was the priority yesterday for everyone.
You asked me to text you, please, and I texted you.
And then I messaged you back. Lauren, I had an injury. I had a knee injury. A very serious knee injury that caused me to have to miss the rest of my workout because I couldn't even work through it and then ice it. It wasn't even likely like that.
Let me tell you about your knee.
And I'm now. Oh, you know what? It's funny because we've been on the phone almost 5 minutes, and now you're just asking about what happened or what they told me.
I asked you yesterday. You haven't answered me.
They did X-rays, and they're going to be doing MRIs because they don't know. With both knees, they don't know anything until they look at the picture.
They don't know why it cracked?
No, they don't know why any of this happened until they look at the pictures. And I am going to be out of work for most likely another week.
Oh, I would think so.
Yeah, it's not exactly how I. Yeah, it's not exactly how I.
It wouldn't be longer.
It's been what?
I'm surprised it wouldn't be longer.
I mean, I have no prediction on what. I just don't know. I'm looking at it week by week basis, and I don't see myself going back to work next week.
I would think it would be longer. Knee is pretty. I don't know. I would think it'd be longer than a week. I think a knee heals quite as fast as the bone does. I'm over the mountain right now. I'm sitting on the driveway. She's going to be taking care of Uncle Rich. Yep. Entering his liver and his pancreas, and I think that he might have it in his stomach too.
Listen to the I don't care silence from Ramona.
This afternoon, I gotta clear stuff off for Mom. I'll clear some stuff off, and then I gotta go to the vet for her. Sorry, I sound selfish.
Lauren, you don't sound selfish. You are selfish. That's what
Sorry if I sound selfish. Let's go through just the first 7 minutes of this freaking phone call. Your girlfriend injures both of her knees. She cannot walk on them. Has to go to the doctor. Has to be wheeled around in a wheelchair. And you're concerned that she didn't keep in contact with you more after telling you all that you needed to know about her situation. Sure, you sound selfish. Got it.
are.
I don't like us losing our closeness.
Lauren, you are a selfish
I don't like
person.
it. I don't like us losing our closeness. I don't like it at all.
Lauren,
I've never been this close to anybody in a long time.
Lauren, you've never met me. Why, Lauren? You've never even met me.
No, but look how much time we've spent together on the phone.
Okay, yeah, we've spent some time on the phone, but
We've got folks.
Lauren, you've never met me.
Does that matter?
Yeah, it matters, Lauren. You've never met me.
Okay, well, we've never been face to face.
Face to face.
But we've certainly been on the phone with each other a lot. So obviously, we must enjoy each other.
Lauren, I've already told you I enjoy talking to you sometimes, but you've never met me, and you're putting too many demands for someone you've never met. I mean, it's just plain and simple.
Well, no more than what I always have.
But Lorne, the fact of the matter is,
the man is just wanting you to be there.
all day, every day on the phone with you. The fact of the matter is that my life is changing in many good ways, mostly in good ways. Now, yesterday, the day before that, with the knee, wasn't a good way. But I mean,
how would your life change any different than what I've already known?
how's my life changing? I'm getting more involved in my job. Things are going very up for my company. I'm getting more and more friends. Just things. What?
I get cool, so I get sent out more and more.
Lorne, I am living my life.
I'm living my life too, but I'm living my life too, but I'm not shutting you out.
But Lorne,
ever since I lost my job, you've been shutting me out more and more.
Lorne, I have not been shutting you out more and more because you lost your job. In fact, if anything, I've been talking on the phone with you more.
But
I'm traveling. My life is changing in wonderful ways.
My life's starting to change around better ways again too. But still, we used to spend a lot of time on the phone all day.
And so I guess you expect that to
I'm not driving, so you're not on the phone with me. Huh?
Lorne, if I go back through my call records, I would be astounded at how much I've talked to you, because literally 8 hours some days, 9 hours some days.
Yeah, and all since I've been
Most
driving.
days. And because I go on a vacation, which there's more of those that are going to come up once my knees heal. So I go on a vacation, you throw a tantrum. I have a day where I help a friend, you throw a tantrum. I have a day where I injure my knee, you throw a tantrum. Lorne, you are very, I can honestly say I've never met anybody as selfish as you. I can honestly say
I'm not selfish money-wise.
Lorne, you don't have any money.
I'm not selfish money-wise, sir. You don't have any money. That's why you're not selfish. You don't have any money. Oh, Lord.
I don't know what that's... What?
I'm just selfish with people that I care about.
Lauren, but you're selfish, but it's also controlling and possessive. And those are not good qualities in anyone. I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like.
It's not controlling that I'm kind of big. It's just trying to get you to think of me when...
You're also very clingy.
Huh?
I said, you're also very clingy.
Yeah, that I am.
I mean, and those are not healthy. Those are not healthy. Those are not, like, attractive or flattering qualities. Like, they aren't.
They're not meant to be any of them, but it's not an intentional thing. It's just I think about you all the time. And obviously, I have more my feelings than you do with me.
I mean, that's obvious, but Lauren, what I'm saying is that, like, I mean, it's almost like you are never satisfied with what you get. You get 5 hours on the phone one day, and then because the following work day, I spend helping a friend, you explode. I mean, what? Like, I mean, you get literally down near 45 hours on the phone a week. And that's not enough for you.
Not anymore, I don't.
What?
Not anymore, I don't.
Lauren, for the past week, I don't know how that's not not anymore, but in a week,
When I was John Tucker.
Lord, I've talked to you more since you've been fired than since
No, we have no.
Lorne. You sit at your house every day. I don't know what you're doing, but you sit at your house every day and you talk to me on the phone all day while I'm doing things that I need to do.
I don't go to my house.
I mean, Lord, I don't know what you do, but I do know that you are always on the phone. And I'll be on the phone, but I mean, I'm doing other stuff as well.
So Ramona has just in like the past 4 minutes called this man broke and unproductive. But those are true statements as well, though.
In I've never met anybody this selfish. What?
I just want to know that you're not shutting me out intentionally and then freaking the same thing hasn't happened to me that happened before.
Lorne, if I were shutting you out, first of all, if I were shutting you out, I would block you. Like, I mean, I don't think you realize how easy it is for me to block somebody with my phone. It would take me less than 3 seconds.
You didn't do that yesterday. You blocked me out anyway.
Lorne, again, you are not my top priority.
No, but if you would have left me a message telling me I have to take care of this stuff this tomorrow,
Again,
so I get this stuff taken care of. Saying it only takes a few words.
Again, Lorne, when I have parents and family and other people who are in my life who are concerned about what's going on and who I'm having to repeat for each one of them what's going on, getting a wheelchair, getting food because I'm going to be by myself for a half day today, getting different things like that I needed, getting crutches. When I have those things going on, and you already know that I have an injury, it's not like, and you can't even say, oh, well, I didn't know what was going on. I told you in the morning. I told you I had a serious knee injury, and I told you what happened, or I told you how it happened.
I know.
And I told you that I had a doctor's appointment. That is all that you needed to know. But Lorne, that's all that you needed to know. You didn't need, like, I didn't need to go into detail or about anything. I didn't need to do any of that because you knew what was happening. There's nothing you could do. There's literally nothing that you could do. You knew what happened. You knew how it happened. You knew when it happened. You knew what I was going to do about it. That's all that you needed to know.
I was worried, not knowing.
You weren't worried. You weren't worried because you sent me messages like, gee, happy you wanted to talk to me today. Amazing. Completely ignored me today.
Well,
I feel so special.
How do you want me to feel?
Lorne, first of all, I didn't care. I was worried about...
Yes, Ramona, yes. Tell him how you really feel, Queen. You did not care.
Yeah, I was worried about my knee. So how you felt was not important. But how I would have felt in that situation. Lorne, how a well-adjusted person would feel in that situation. They'd feel, okay, she had a knee injury. I'm really sorry about that. I hope she's feeling better. When she messages me, again, I'll say such and such to her. And hopefully things are going well.
Lord really says, so now I'm not well adjusted. No, sir. Anyone that drives across state lines to meet and have sex with a 13-year-old is not well adjusted at all. Like the rest of your whole life is in shambles, but that one act alone proves that you are not well adjusted. Oh my gosh.
But that's not what goes through your mind. what goes through your mind is, well, we didn't talk today.
Sorry, didn't mean to let you talk to you. What do you want me to say?
Lorne, it would be nice if you stopped this. If literally I didn't get messages like this. Again, I said hello to you. I told you what happened, that I injured my knee. I told you when it happened. It happened last night. I told you how it happened. I was jogging in place and I heard and felt a loud crack and I can't even put weight on it. And then I told you that I have a doctor's appointment at 3 and I told you that I called out of work. I don't know what else needs to be said. I don't know why you called me so many times yesterday. I don't know what else, and I really don't know what else needs to be said when that's what's going on.
I called you 4 times yesterday.
Yeah, you called me 4 times yesterday, and I was with my family.
And I didn't know you were with the family.
Did you? Okay, you knew I couldn't put weight on my knee. Did you think that I was gonna like jog to the doctor's office?
What I you said you couldn't put much weight on it. So I asked you if you were working. I didn't know if you're still working or not. I knew that you didn't have to get out of the car all the
Lorne,
time.
if I can't,
I didn't know you were with your family.
Lorne, if I can't put much weight on my knee, and I call it out, how on
And I wasn't thinking it was your knee. I was thinking it was your ankle.
Okay, Lorne, what you were thinking is irrelevant because nowhere did I say my ankle. I've never.
No, you said your leg.
I didn't say my leg. I didn't even use the word leg. I said knee. I injured my knee last night. I'm looking at it. I injured my knee last night. I did not say leg. I didn't say ankle. I didn't say foot. I didn't say toenail. I didn't say eye socket. I didn't say ear. I said
I don't know how I got ankle. I don't know how I got ankle.
Well, I don't either, but
So
that has nothing to do with me because I never said anything about an ankle.
Somehow I got ankle stuck in my head.
Yeah, you got a lot of things stuck in your head. And the fact of the matter is that this garbage that you sent me last night, it just makes no sense.
I was worried about us losing the closeness that we've had.
Yeah, and you know what?
It really concerns me.
And I'm worried about being barely a quarter of the way through my life and having arthritis and knee problems, okay? There's a huge difference between our worries. You're worried about someone who you've never even met not talking to you on the phone, and I'm worried about my physical body and how being at the age I am right now, how this could affect me for the rest of my life or down the road, okay? And that is a way more important priority than you.
Listen to what I'm saying. Because we've never met, you keep saying this.
Wait, say again, I didn't hear you.
You keep saying this because we have never met. Just because we have never met face to face, does that make you into more of a different person than what you told me you are?
Lorne, I am the same person, but the fact of the matter is okay, then I'll rephrase
It doesn't matter that we haven't been face to face.
Okay, then I'll rephrase it. I have never met you. And even if I had, my knee still takes both of my knees because they're both injured.
They should be more of a priority.
Okay, so then you would understand.
I agree with you.
Okay, so then you should understand why sitting on the phone with you or going back and forth in text messages with you was not a priority at all for me yesterday. After I told you what happened yesterday afternoon, then you should understand.
I do understand that. I just wish you would have said something to me so I didn't.
Lorne, I did say something to you. Lorne, I messaged you yesterday afternoon telling you what had happened and what I was going to try to do about it. I messaged you everything you needed to know. I don't see what more that there is that I could have done. I mean, this is mind-boggling. really. I mean, it would be funny if I was watching it on TV.
She would just told me, I have to take care of this stuff from her, and let's talk about it tomorrow.
I
I would
told
be fine the
you
rest of the
that,
day. Because she left me hanging again.
Lord, I did not leave you hanging. I told you. I told you. I don't.
When you asked me to text, you only sent me 2 texts.
You're a liar again. You're a liar again because I sent you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 text messages yesterday.
I only got 2.
Lorne, you are a liar again. You got me.
Bullshit I am. I know them all now.
Okay.
You asked me to please text, and I text. So, yeah, maybe there's 3. There might be 3.
No, Lorne, it was 6, and I'm gonna read them back to you so that you know that it was 6. And I can even send you a screenshot. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on your flip phone, but I can send you a screenshot. This is exactly what was said yesterday. You called me, and then I said, I'm busy at the moment, please text me. And then you said good morning, and that was at 11:05. And I said, hey, guess what? You said what? I said, I injured my knee last night, sad face. You said, I'm sorry, how did you do that? I said, I was lightly jogging in place, and I heard and felt a loud crack. Since then, I can't put much weight on it. You said you broke it. Did you see the doctor? Are you home now? I said, I'm not sure, but I have a doctor's appointment at 3. You said, are you working now? I said, no, I called out. That is 6 messages.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
You're
okay,
right,
so
sorry.
again, you are a
I'm
liar.
sorry.
We've established that.
I didn't lie. I just forgot that they were
Okay, yeah, you
texting me in a row.
conveniently forgot. You conveniently forgot.
Alright, so I'm not perfect. I told you.
You're far from it. I mean, but there's a lot in between perfect and you, okay?
The old "I'm not perfect" excuse. Like, Lord uses that all the time, whether it's driving drunk and putting others' lives in danger, whether it's trying to solicit a minor, whether it's stealing $30,000 from someone. Like, the "I am not perfect" excuse is his catch all. And it's really trash because it's like these things aren't happening to you, you are actively doing them.
I know, you pointed it out, and I'm not perfect.
Lauren, I don't point it out that you're not perfect. You use that word. But what I'm saying, Lauren, but what I'm saying, first of all, no one is perfect. That's thing 1.
I know that.
Thing 2, there is a lot between perfect and you. There's a whole lot of stuff in between there.
No, I know.
As I was saying, I said everything that needed to be said yesterday. I didn't leave you hanging.
What was the next question I asked you?
You said that you have to see your therapist, and then somehow ankle came up, and you asked if I put ice on my ankle.
What was your answer?
I didn't respond.
There you go.
I didn't respond. First of all, it's not important if I put ice on my ankle.
Did you respond the rest of the day?
No, I didn't. And you know why? Because I had a knee injury, and around noon is the time that things started happening. Around noon is the time that I started getting involved and getting in touch with family and with actual people who are here around me, and things started happening as far as me getting a wheelchair, as far as me going to the doctor, as far as me getting food. Things.
I'm sorry, because you used to tell me things. You used to keep me updated.
Lauren, I didn't update you. I don't know what more. Lauren, there is nothing, first of all, there's nothing you could do from Maine to help me. There's nothing at all. Okay? That being the case, I needed to focus yesterday on people who were helping me and who could help me and make sure that they were up to date. And that includes...
I didn't even know that your family was there.
I told you that earlier. I told you that earlier today. And honestly, I don't know how you would have expected me... I really don't know how you would have expected me to go to the doctor on my own.
All I had in my mind was ankle. For some reason, that ankle popped in my mind. That's why I asked you if you broke it.
Lauren, okay, you have a lot of things in your mind, but there was no reason for you to have ankle in your mind because I I never said ankle. But let's just go with that, okay? I had an ankle injury. I didn't, but let's just go with that. Okay, it's still a joint in my body that is important to the function of your body and legs.
I know.
So,
I know.
I mean, it doesn't matter if it was my ankle. It doesn't matter if it was my knee. It doesn't matter if it was my hip. It doesn't matter if it was the glands in my underarm that were preventing me from lifting my arm. The fact of the matter is that I had traumatic injury and I needed help from my family, from my friends, and I got it. And no, messaging back and forth with you was not a priority. I made sure that you knew what happened, that you knew when it happened, that you knew what I was going to do about it. I made sure that the important things you were aware of. But was I going to text back and forth with you about whether I put ankle or put ice on my ankle or anything like that? No, Lorne. Because if I
didn't know. Listen, I didn't know that your family was there.
Okay,
I didn't
Lorne,
know anything. I thought you were at home alone.
Lorne, why would I be Lorne? As many people as I have in my life, why would I be home alone?
I don't know. Because you're independent, you don't need everybody for anything. So that's all.
Lorne thought that his girlfriend seriously injured a joint in her body and was crawling around the house sans wheelchair, sans crutches, just crawling around the house and still expecting her to text him back. What an idiot.
Lorne.
And she is. She's not. She probably told people not to come around to help her.
I told people not to come around to help me. Like, are you even listening to what's coming out of your mouth?
Yeah, because I said, as independent as you are, that's probably what you told them.
As independent as I am, I told people not to help me. Because what?
Mom does that.
Lord, your mom only tells you that she values her independence because she doesn't want you there. Like, it's she doesn't not want people to help her. She doesn't want you to help her.
What happened?
So you decided that as I was saying, so you decided that I'm so independent that even though I can't put weight on my ankle, or now I'm saying ankle, that even though I can't put weight on my knee, that I decided to have everybody stay home or to not help me. Okay, so that would mean what? That would mean that I'm here by myself in my place, struggling to get around and stumbling around and probably crawling around. And if that was the case, okay, as I said, if that was the case, why would you think that I would be available to text back and forth at you? If I was by myself, I would have to be struggling to do things for myself. Therefore, why would I even be going back and forth in messages with you?
See, Ramona even used the same logic as I did. Lorne is a freaking moron.
They told me to text you.
Lorne, I said text me so that I could tell you what happened. I sent you an automatic text message that said, I'm busy at the moment, please text me. Because at that point, I was going through, not the phone book, but through Google, looking for freaking doctors to see. And I said, I'm busy at the moment, please text me. And you said,
I thought you already heard about it for you need.
First of all, the one who I saw last time was incompetent. That's why it's still not healed. So I went to see an orthopedic doctor. But Lorne, all of that is not important. What is important is the fact that yet again, I have something that takes precedence over you, and yet again, you throw a tantrum and send me a bunch of nasty messages.
They're messed. They're just off-centered.
Off-centered?
Self-centered.
Okay, so they weren't nasty. They were off center. Since we're gonna play the thesaurus,
I said I didn't say off-centered. I said self-centered.
yes, they are.
So the fact that Lorne has enough self awareness to know that he was being selfish and self centered, like, I think that's why so many people get mad at him, because he tries to play dumb about other things, but he was able to surmise that he was being selfish. He was able to gather that he was being selfish in this situation, but in other situations he takes no ownership of his bad qualities, or like fake claims that like he's trying to change. That is, I think, what makes people want to throw a brick at Lorne, because in some ways he takes ownership and then he flip-flops with his accountability. And just like in this situation, like, he takes ownership of the fact that he was selfish, but is doing zero about being selfish, and is still trying to guilt Ramona into feeling bad for not texting him back because something important was going on in her life.
Center. That's what you are. You are very selfish. That's exactly how you are. More, but you do it, and you know you do something, and you know that you do it. You're aware of it.
I know, you're right. You're working on that now.
Lorne.
Good.
Lorne.
Lorne has no job at the moment. Doesn't do anything presumably during the daytime. These are all hours that he could be using to better himself. But what does he do? He goes drinking with his friends, or stays in his trailer with the P moat around it, and stalks his girlfriend all day instead of working on his personality like he should be.
This is how you are, and you've made no effort to change it. Because somewhere in your mind, you still think you're right. I don't know why, but somewhere in your mind, you think that I left you hanging because I didn't message back and forth with you all day after I had had a traumatic knee injury.
Well, this is not how I am. This is how I am after crap that I've been through. It's
What, selfish and self-centered? I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like.
No, it's not that. Well, listen, it's not that. It's because of all the stuff you already know about that I've already told you. It's respecting it.
Lauren just said one of the most ridiculous sentences I have ever heard. This is not how I am. This is how I am because of stuff that's happened to me. Like, yeah, your whole personality and stuff and how you deal with stuff is partially based on your life experiences. Like, that's what everyone's is. Like, what are you talking about? Now he's about to blame him being ridiculous on meatballs and deviled eggs and mac and cheese and, I don't know, Dale Earnhardt Jr. memorabilia. Like, I just can't.
Lauren, but here's the thing.
I haven't given any reason to second guess you. And I know it's just hard to get out of it after.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard these excuses before. But here's the thing, though. Anyone who didn't want to talk to you, especially me, if I have no problem blocking people. I have blocked numerous people from my Facebook account, from my phone, from my life. I have no problem doing that. I mean, and the garbage that I received yesterday was just nasty. I mean, it was nasty, and what made it nastier is that you knew I was dealing with something.
You know? I can explain it to you, but yeah, I do that.
somewhere in your mind, you still think I left you hanging because I didn't message back and forth with you all day.
Yeah, I know. Because of the man with James.
Yeah, you know what? You can't even blame her.
That's
You can't even blame her for how you are. This whole thing.
oh no, I can't blame her.
Lorne was like 11 years old when the Amanda James situation occurred, and now he's trying to wrench back and blame that on him being self-centered now. Like, he was already self-centered before that situation happened. I can't. And no one told you to continue talking to Amanda James when you figure, like, when stuff wasn't adding up. Just like no one is compelling you to talk to these catfishes when stuff doesn't add up or when they get on your nerves. Like, you're just a glutton for punishment.
And I do blame her especially.
Lauren, there is not a person out here who has not been burned by love or scarred or heartbroken or anything. There is not a person out here on this planet. There's not an adult who's over 22. I mean, and you can even go younger than that. There's not a person out here who has not had their heart broken by someone who they liked, including me. So the fact of the matter is that that is.
I don't want it to happen to me again.
But it's funny because you do the exact things that you say you don't want to happen to you. That's thing one. And thing two. And thing two, as I was saying, and thing two.
Because she knows you are. That made me stop doing it.
Lorne, honestly, I mean, if dating girls from the internet is so tough for you, why don't you date someone who lives by you? I mean, because, like, why bring this drama and nonsense into people who... Well, and to people you've never met before. I mean, if you were dating someone who...
You're the only one that's been on us.
As I was saying, if you were dating someone who lives in Maine, you could probably keep them on a leash. You could give them a curfew. You could make... I mean, you could drive by their job. I mean, you'd be able to know for a fact that everything they say is honest. Well, Lorne, that's what a real life relationship with you looks like. A relationship where you are in person. That's what it looks like.
No, it is. That's not what it is.
That is exactly what it looks like, Lorne.
That's not what it is.
Lorne, you try to keep me on my phone all day, so that even when I have a knee injury, and then when you don't get that, you blow up. There is no way that if I, let's say, had a knee injury or something, and I was living in Maine, and I went to stay with my parents or a friend of mine, and I wasn't responding back to you, and that person lived a mile, 2 miles, even 4 miles or 5 miles, and let's say you had a vehicle that actually runs, there is no way you would not be driving by to make sure that I'm there. There's just no way.
You want me to argue with it?
What?
You want me to argue with it?
Lauren, you can say what you want, but the fact is that your behavior...
That's the thing. I can say what I want, but you don't know believe me.
Your behavior suggests otherwise, Lauren. Lauren, you have no...
That's because we haven't been face-to-face yet.
I'm gonna call shenanigans, of course, on Lorne saying that he would not do any of those things. This is the same person that called his girlfriend irate after she came out of surgery and didn't text or call him fast enough. Same person that got mad when someone who he wasn't even with was going on dates with not a prince but a duke. Same person. I'm gonna go ahead and call shenanigans on that. Like he definitely would um be stalking his real life girlfriend and driving by her place of work and driving by where, she's hanging out with her friends. I absolutely think that would be him. Absolutely.
Because I'm just waiting for it to happen.
Lorne, you have never even met me, but yet you're so obsessed with me that when I don't message back and forth with you all day on the day that the day after rather, I have a serious injury, you're freaking out and calling me constantly and messaging me constantly. But yet I'm supposed to believe that you are so well adjusted that if I was living, let's say I was already from Maine, right? And I was staying with my mom for a few days and I was not answering my phone, I'm supposed to believe that you're just going to be just cool with that. Yeah, okay, yeah, she's with her mom. Lauren, you have shown not one tiny iota of that much self-awareness.
I don't want you to be alive. That's what I'm so worried about.
Lauren, not wanting me to be alive and messaging me constantly like that after you knew that I had a traumatic injury just the night before are two different things. And that's why I said,
no, I know two different things, but it goes right back to the Minadine stuff. Her emails, her instant messenger wasn't working, so we had to email back and forth. Huh?
And how long are you going to use that?
Because that's part of what stuck in my head. Okay. I'm trying to get it out of there. I'm trying to get it out of there, but not everybody's like that.
Okay, well then, like I said, maybe it would be easier for you if you dated someone who was in Maine, and that way you could have them on a ball and chain. You would know that they are, you would know that they're as real.
I don't want a ball and chain. I just want to know the game that they're honest with.
Well, okay, you might not get that unless you date someone in Maine.
What does someone being honest with you have to do with you needing to be in constant contact with them? Those things do not have anything to do with each other. He is like really terrible at making a logical, cogent argument. Like those two things don't go together. Just say you want to stalk your girlfriend in peace and just call it that.
Even then, I genuinely feel sorry for them because you you do this, but you'd be in person doing this.
No, I wouldn't do it. As long as I know they're honest, I don't have the problem.
Lorne, but the fact of the matter is that them being honest with you. That idea is completely subjective to what your mind makes it at the time. So you could, so for instance, you could have a girlfriend who lived in Maine, who you knew. Let's say she had never had a boyfriend. And let's say she worked at her parents' restaurant or something, and she had a schedule where she gets up in the morning at 7, she's out the door by 8, she's at the restaurant by 8:30, and 8:30 a.m. and she's home. She works the early shift. She's home by, let's say, 4:30. She hangs out with you all evening, and then she goes to bed. She gets up and she does it again, and on the weekend she reads and she talks to her grandmother on the phone. Now you could find that, right? And that could be the situation and how things go for 4 months, right? But the one day that let's say she has a new coworker, and she says that she wants to hang out with her coworker, she goes hanging out with her coworker. Your mind begins to run, and you start thinking, is this a guy?
It does.
Well, then you've just proven it. Being in person doesn't do shit because you have a girl who's in person. Here she is. She's already proven that she's devoted to you because she's home every freaking night. In fact, by 4:30, she is home. But then let's say
somebody that's honest with me, then I know they're going to cheat on me.
But okay, but
lie to me about shit. I don't have a problem with that at all.
But the fact of the matter is, you just said that your mind would begin to run wild. So your mind begins to run wild.
Yeah, if I was questioning about someone, and
Because she has a new coworker who she's going to go hang out with after work. Even though every single day for 4 months, she's been home with you after work. She has a coworker who she clicks with and she wants to go hang out with her. You wonder if, oh, well, this might be a guy. And Lauren, the fact of the matter is, okay, so she says she's going to, let's say she says she's going to dinner with the girl. Your mind begins to run wild. There is no way in hell that you sit at home with a mind wandering. You go drive by the restaurant that she says she's going to. You very well might wait outside and to see if she comes out with a guy or a girl.
This is very random, but I just now thought about this. Like, what what did what do the catfish do for a living? Because they would really have to be on the phone with this fool for hours and hours on end. Like, what did they do for work?
you ever see the show Cheating?
And then Lauren, I'm not talking about that, but yes, I have seen that show. And then she comes out, and then she comes out of the restaurant giggling with a girl, and she sees you. I mean, Lauren, there is no scenario in which a woman is not kept on a ball and chain if she's with you. Whether it's Lauren, I'm hundreds of miles away, and you try to keep me on a ball and chain. If you had someone who lived with you, I can't imagine.
You know, what's the rule for? Okay.
No, I just said woo because I'm just thinking about this whole thing.
You're thinking too hard. Why would I want to let somebody else?
Lauren, but see, here's the thing. With you, trust is relative. No, it's not that. It's relative.
Oh, it is.
It's relative because here's the thing.
It's not for me than it is with you. Trust is earned.
Oh, earned. Well, yeah. With anybody, trust is earned, but it's also relative because here's the thing. It depends on the situation, not the person, but the situation. For instance, now, most women.
Okay, for instance, let me give you a for instance.
Okay, give me a for instance.
Okay. For instance, if you would send me a message saying that I'm with my family and we have to go hustle, I can't talk, but I'll message you later and let you know what happened, or we can message you tomorrow morning.
Again, after admitting and owning up to being selfish and self-centered, he goes right back to trying to prove that he was right. Like, his mind. I'm really, props to Ramona for being patient, because I really would have hung up in his face. Like, from the first minute that this phone call started, I would have hung up in his face. Bless her heart.
I would have been fine.
Again,
I would have been fine the rest of the day because I would have known. Okay, somebody's taking care of her. She's not alone. She obviously can't talk because she's busy doing this stuff.
Lauren, I told you.
That's when I would have done that. Huh?
Lauren, I told you that stuff in the afternoon at 11 o'clock. And I messaged back and forth with you for almost an hour. What?
You didn't tell me you were with your family.
Lauren.
I thought you were alone.
Lauren, did you need to know if I was with my family? The fact that
I needed to know that you were all right.
I wasn't. I had a traumatic knee injury. I told you that. The fact of the matter is, I told you literally everything that you needed to know yesterday. I told you everything that you needed to know. Absolutely everything. I told you what happened. I told you when it happened. I told you how it happened. I told you one of the effects of it. The only thing I didn't mention was the excruciating pain I was in, but I told you that I couldn't even put weight on it. I told you that I had a doctor's appointment. And I told you I was not working. I don't see why or how you needed to know what I was doing with my family, where I was.
That's not what I was saying.
You
What I was
just
saying
said
is
I should have told you that my
yeah.
family.
All I had to do was say that somebody, my family, they can help me get stuff done, and can we talk tomorrow morning?
Lorne.
I've been fine.
Lorne, first of all, I didn't know.
Why don't you try that and see how see how.
So now everybody got to change because Lorne wants them to.
Try.
Yeah.
Because what I did was
I'm not telling you to try. I'm asking you, why don't you try that? And then see how I react.
Lorne.
It's nothing but a few words that
Lorne, I get
it makes me feel better.
Lorne, I told you that I had had an injury. I told you what I was doing. I told you those things. I don't have all day. I was not going to sit back and forth and message with you. For one thing, because it doesn't stop. And for the other thing is because I had important things that I needed to take care of yesterday.
It doesn't stop, but if you say, can we message tomorrow morning? I think she tomorrow morning, or even tomorrow morning. It would stop. I wouldn't have had anything more to say.
First of all, Lorne, I didn't know.
I wouldn't have hung around waiting for a message back from her.
Don't do that anyway.
I do because I don't like leaving you hanging.
Lorne, it's not leaving me hanging. I had an injury. I needed to take care of it.
Yeah, but it feels like I'm leaving you hanging if I do that.
Lorne.
I don't like to do that.
See, this is what happens when you don't have a life. I mean, you sit on the phone all day because you don't have friends in real life, which is like, it would be sad if it wasn't Lorne, you know. But yeah, like you just sit around on the phone all day, so someone being 5 seconds late with their text message back to you, or like deciding to go to sleep or take a nap or eat or have a social life outside of you, that really affects you. But he has to understand, like, his mind is a very confusing enigma. Like, I don't understand how anybody, and then once again, it's blowing my mind that he admitted that he was self-centered, but still is trying to prove that he is right and asking Ramona to change her behavior in the future. Like,
these messages that I got yesterday and this morning were nasty and they were unnecessary. The fact of the matter is that you knew I had an injury. You knew I was going to the doctor. You knew that I had important things to take care of. And yet you leave these messages. Yet you message me repeatedly. And now you're saying, well, I should have said this, or I should have also added that. What?
I must be getting better because I'm sure it's not as long as what they used to be.
What?
Well, I must be getting better because I'm sure the messages aren't getting as long as what they used to be.
Aren't what they used to be?
As long or as many as what they used to be.
Yeah, gee, I wonder why. You have a flip phone with no keyboard.
Ramona has been sneak dissing him this entire call, saying he's unemployed, he doesn't have any money, she doesn't know if his flip phone can receive her screenshot of her phone. Now she's saying that he can't send as many text messages or as long text messages because he has a flip phone. Like, Ramona has been getting these sneak distance all the way in. I love it.
So,
Lauren, you
my
and I
son's
both
getting
know,
used to that now.
Lauren. You and I both know that if you had a rapid fire keyboard like you used to have on your old phone, that I would have gotten way more messages like this, way more messages the times that you've gotten drunk, way more messages. You and I both know that.
My son is used to this thing now. It doesn't bother me.
Okay, your thumb might be used to it, but it is still no way near as fast as a keyboard.
And,
So stop pretending like you're getting better. Stop pretending like you're getting better or like you're improving.
I'm telling you I am getting better. I'm telling you that I'm getting better.
How is getting better? How is harassing me when I have a knee injury getting better? How is that getting better?
I'm not doing it as much. I'm not doing it as often.
You're not doing it as much. You're not doing it.
And also, y'all, so the noise that you might hear in the background, it's not me. It's actually my puppy, Ginger. She's crying right now. Hold on.
Often. This is as often as you ever would have done it.
Not either.
This is
I used to do it a lot.
Lauren. This is you sober, but harassing me. This is what you not drunk, but angry looks like. Several messages in a row. You getting angry. The only difference is that obviously since you don't have a keyboard, you can't type as fast, and you weren't drunk, so I wasn't being called a bitch, a whore, and a slut, and a piece of shit, and an asshole. That's the difference.
I'm doing that too. You gotta stop doing that too. Obviously, I'm changing. Must be finding some stuff in there, so I'm getting better.
I mean, one could argue that that's something that no one should ever done. I mean, I haven't. I mean, friends of mine who you claim to love me more than you've loved anybody else, and yet you call me those things. I have friends of mine who I don't claim to love more than anybody else, and when I've been angry at them, I've never used those kinds of words.
Lauren wanting this pat on the back for not calling Ramona horrible names is really just gonna send me to an early grave. Like, you shouldn't, like she said, you shouldn't be calling her those things anyway, but he wants a pat on the back for not calling her all out of her name in the text messages that he sent too many of. Got it.
Oh, part of it scares me because I do love you so much.
Well, one could.
That does scare me.
And that is a red flag if I ever did hear one. I love you too much and it scares me. If you ever hear those words, please run. That person is probably thinking of a great way to, like, commit arson on where you live and get away with it. Do not trust anybody who says those words. True story though. I did have a boyfriend that said these words to me. He did set an apartment on fire. Cautionary tale.
The behavior.
I love you, but it doesn't come in love.
Your words say love, but your behavior doesn't. And that's where the problem is.
It's a protection thing.
Well, you're not protecting me. I mean.
Oh, I'm trying to protect myself.
From what? And that's why I said that.
I'm getting hurt.
Then Lauren, that's why I said, I mean, if this is like so stressful for you, then maybe you should be with someone who's in Maine. You would be able to track them. The fact of the matter is that the exact thing.
not that I need to track them. I need to try.
But here's the thing though, there is no you without doing those things, because it's right there, easily available for you to do. You drove drunk to get beer. You think that let me say this. You drove drunk to get beer. The whole night you were accusing me of sleeping with different people and all this other stuff, right? And you were angry about that, and you were manifesting these things in your head. I'm supposed to believe that you'd drive drunk to get beer, but that you wouldn't drive drunk to drive past my friend's house, my mother's house, my dog's house, to see where I was if I lived in Maine. I mean, the signs are all there. It's circumstantial evidence, but it's evidence of things that you would do. And we both.
I think the things that I would do, because if you or I were face to face and we were living with each other, even if we weren't living with each other,
Scary.
I've got a trust in you that I haven't been able to have in a long time. A lot of it scares me because I'm worried about getting hurt and being on that pedestal.
But here's the thing, though. The idea of me, or honestly any other girl, living with you, it does frighten me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because these things don't stop. They escalate. And this love that you say that you have for me, if I was there, you would say it's even stronger. And therefore, you would be even more possessive and even more control and even more.
No. I disagree with them.
What?
I disagree with that.
Lorne, you can disagree all you want, but the fact of the matter is that you've proven it, though. You've proven it.
Yeah, Lorne would definitely, definitely be problematic, and that is like an understatement if he ever had a living girlfriend, because like Ramona was saying, these catfish are not anywhere near him, and he still finds it necessary to control who they talk to, um, when they go out, um, just anyone outside of him he has a problem with. It doesn't matter if it's like a male or female. Anyone that he sanctions as someone that they shouldn't talk to because they take away from their togetherness, like he's gonna have a problem with. Even if that could be work, that could be anything. Like I really do think Lauren would uh definitely emotionally abuse any real girlfriend, and possibly, like, as mad as he gets, I can see him escalating into physical abuse. So him trying to say that that's not what would happen if he had a living girlfriend is complete and utter BS.
No, what I've proven is what happened to me is I just need somebody to find everything else.
But here's the thing, you,
I'm not perfect.
Lorne, let's stop using
I'm
the.
so far from perfect. I'm so far from perfect. All I want is somebody that I can trust, that I know is not going to hurt me.
Lorne. Let's stop using the P word, okay? Because the fact of the matter is that no one is perfect, but I can give you examples of a lot of boyfriends that my friends have had, and even that I have had, who weren't perfect, but who were good guys who don't make women feel threatened and like they're under control.
I don't want to make you feel that way.
How is he gonna tell someone else how he makes them feel? Lorne, please.
I'm being
Like, I mean, the fact of the matter is, Lauren, is that anyone who's around you is going to feel that way, especially. I mean, I do. I mean, I genuinely do. And this is something that you really need to think about because I can't tell the future. But one thing that I think is that if you end up with a girl who lives in Maine or something like that, no matter who it is, I I I I I don't see how it's a safe situation for her because what would happen is that you would make her your entire world. You'd make this girl your entire world. And the moment that something happened that was out of the ordinary, you would start wondering, checking up on her. And I mean, that's just such dangerous behavior and unhealthy behavior.
and would I be completely wrong? You said you've seen the show Cheaters.
No.
See, yeah, Lorne would definitely cross lines and boundaries if he had a living girlfriend. He just tried to justify being controlling and possessive from seeing the show Cheaters. Like he's coming up with the most like wild justifications for his behavior. First, it's Amanda James, but for making him, selfish and self-centered and wanting to talk every second of the day. And now he's saying because cheaters, that's why he it would be okay for him to be possessive about his living girlfriend. Like, yeah, he really let us all pray that he never gets a girlfriend in person because like we might need to preemptively call the cops if that situation ever did happen.
I've seen the show Cheaters. People sometimes cheat. That's what happens. You have done it to me.
Had red flags with freaking Amanda James and Paula too.
Oh, and also an aside about cheaters, that show, although it was great, you know, laughing at people, Joey Greco did get stabbed. Like let's not forget the great Joey Greco getting stabbed on that boat. I don't know. Like I don't think cheaters would be something that I base my actual love life off of for fear of that show coming true in my life. Bless Lawrence Hart.
And there have been red flags with you because you have had your online conquests since knowing me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've seen the show Cheaters, but the fact of the matter is that you that I mean, well then, Lauren, if because we've established that you are a cheater, you have those behaviors, you have done those things yourself since knowing me and probably other people who you've known. You have done those things, but if dating and if being with women is so difficult that you either are going to be obsessed with them and constantly worried that they're cheating, maybe don't date. Maybe just be with yourself.
I'm not going to the guys.
Lauren, I didn't say that. I didn't say that either. But just be with yourself.
No, why would I want to be with myself? I want to be with you.
And Ramona was right there too, because Lauren is a cheater. Like, how are you gonna be so just averse to cheating when you do it yourself? But it is always those people that think the other partner is cheating because they've cheated themselves. Like that's probably another reason why he's just so worried about it because he knows he would if he could. If he had another viable partner, someone else throwing vagina his way, he would definitely cheat.
Well, but Lauren, the thing is that
I know it's taking work. I'm sorry that I'm such a piece of work. But in the end, there's a lot of things to say. I know.
I mean, and I'm not okay. I'm not trying to make you feel like shit. I'm trying to legitimately help you because
I know.
the things that I'm seeing in you are toxic. And honestly,
without you pointing out the things that I do wrong, I wouldn't be able to see them.
Lord, I feel sorry for a woman who is in Maine who gets involved with you because I can only imagine what she's gonna go through. I can only imagine.
Different person.
Lord, I genuinely, I can only imagine. And I mean, you know, I've said this. What?
See, stung me.
And and the sad thing is that I don't see what she's getting out of it. I mean, you see all sorts of like celebrities. In fact, I was just watching a case yesterday where a girl who was dating an MMA fighter, he beat the fuck out of her, and now he's in jail where he belongs for a long ass time. But I mean, you see all these cases where these sports stars beat the fuck out of their women, and all these cases. Can I finish? And they're controlling and they're possessive and all this. And at the end of the day, it's like no woman should have to deal with that. I don't care. I don't care what she did, what she thinks. I don't. There's no way. And you look at it and you're like, you can say, well, I mean, she had a fucked up relationship with this guy, but at least, but at least she was driving Bentleys while she was doing it. At least she was living in a mansion. I mean, you say that as it's like a consolation prize. Okay, she dealt with this horrible person, but at least while she was dealing with them, at least she was well taken care of. But I mean, it's like with you, I can't even say that. Like, I mean, if you were dating a girl in Maine, when she's dealing with this stuff, I can't even say, well, at least there's this consolation prize because I don't even see what it would be.
Yeah, she gets to go home to a cold, raggedy trailer with someone whose teeth look like corn nuts, to cuddle up on a nice twin mattress with no sheets on it, and a fridge that's full of only condiments, and luxurious fan system that consists of a desk fan from like that is hooked up, that is adhesed to the ceiling. Benefits, man. What girl wouldn't want that?
You'd be a good guy.
Lord, how is it a good guy when you're doing this stuff?
At least I talk to you. At least I talk to you about stuff.
Lauren, that's funny.
At least I listen to you.
Lauren, how is it you don't listen to me because you thought I had injured my ankle when I injured my knee?
I don't know what. I do listen to you. I probably read it, but all I can think for some reason was your ankle.
Lauren, how is it a good guy when I'm getting all these messages that I'm having a knee injury?
Am I a bad guy?
Lauren, I don't know what you are.
Yes, you are a bad guy.
Oh boy.
Look at what you've given me to work with.
I know. You've been saying about it. For that.
I mean, Lauren, okay, then let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Be honest, because, I mean, I think the answer's obvious. But let me ask you a question, okay?
All right.
Let's say that my mom knew nothing about you, which she doesn't. But let's say that, okay, so she knows nothing about me. You and I started talking in December, November, something like that. She knows nothing about you. Let's say that my mom, and it's not hard to imagine her doing this, was going through my phone. That's my mom. I wouldn't be surprised if she did. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if she did. And she sees you in my phone. Let's say you're listed as under my boyfriend. Let's say I have, like, instead of your name, I just have my boyfriend. And she sees and she reads every single text message that you have ever sent me. Now, she doesn't know about your criminal history. She doesn't know about you were on To Catch a Predator. She doesn't know that you tried to solicit sex from a minor. She doesn't know you're a registered sex offender. She doesn't know anything about you, not even how you look, not even your age. All she knows is those text messages. Do you think she'd think I was with a good guy?
Well, probably not.
Let's say that she knew everything about you that I know, everything that I have seen, the text messages, the criminal background, and everything, the actual voicemails that you've left me. Do you think she'd think I was with a good guy?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm on something. Hang on. I'm here, mother dear. I don't line up getting it. It's going to take him 30 days. That's what it takes. Well, it takes 30 days now. If it was administration, they have to approve it, and they get it back. So they can expedite it, but it's still 2 to 3 weeks out. I told them to do it. I got to fill the application out. I got to get him up on place, and he's waiting for me to get it up, so it's continue. It's not borrowed. There ain't no reason to borrow. By that time, I have my freaking unemployment. I thought they were supposed to bring this afternoon.
Lauren, go spend time with your mom.
You need to be called back, okay?
Yeah, go spend time with your mom.
All right. Good night.
Bye.
So, from this call, we are able to gather that even if his girlfriend was crawling around her apartment alone, unable to walk from two injured knees, Lorne would still expect her to keep in constant contact with him. Doctors and medical professionals be darned. And I think the thing that gets me the most is that, like, Lorne is real. Is a real human man that thinks like this. A human man that is like nearly half a century years old. And this is how he really thinks. Also, I hope this never happens, but if Lorne ever does get a real girlfriend, like, I'm gonna keep her lifted in prayer. And maybe, we really might have to call 911 preemptively, because I'm pretty sure she's in for an extremely wild and terrible time. So this is actually my first Lorne call that I've actually done, and am gonna post to YouTube. Hopefully more to come. It's pretty much it. Ginger, my pup, says hi. Uh, and that's it. That's all I have. Thank you for listening.